Hey, what is up, fellow traders? It's your boy, the Wolf, here for episode 2 of Sunday Fundies. Just want to thank you guys for joining us. This episode, we're going to take a beginner look at the dilution process, the direct offering process, which will be concluding the S-1 or the S-3 shelf registration, the effect filing, and the 424, B3, B4, or B5. So we're going to wrap up that whole process. As mentioned, this is going to be a beginner level process. We will be doing an intermediate and an advanced process down the road. But right now, I just want to get this one out for you guys, especially some of the new people who've been joining the room. These videos are going to be released into the Wolf Trading Room. The room has been growing, so we're excited about that. Also, last Friday, we introduced our first trader takeaways here in the Wolf Den. So be sure to subscribe, check that out. We're growing, we're excited. So let's go ahead and go over to the room right now. I want to take a look and see what's been running. We're going to go ahead and pull something up that might have dilutive properties. So we're over here in the runner's room, just looking to see what ran. CTRV, let's see, this is day 2. I'm going to go ahead and look at day 1. Let's see day 1 on CTRV. Here we go. Okay, so we got a nice push. This might be dilutive. Also, I remember trading this. You see right here, we had this $11 volume deposit right here with huge technical resistance. I actually did take the trade. Let me show you that real quick. I know this is a fundamental analysis, but I do want to give a shout out to our trader takeaways. This was one of the trades that we took right here with that $11 entry right here. I even zoomed in on it. I know some of you guys are really inquisitive and you want to know how we're trading this. So I scaled in right here. My biggest entry was the top tick 1098, 1099 entry with half the size right there. And then boom, straight into the flush. This room right here, the runner's room, is a weapon. In my opinion, we have front side volume profile. And it's just a great room. All of these entries are going to be in here, and it's a searchable room. But anyway, let's go ahead and find something that has dilutive properties. LJPC could be a candidate. I know this thing's been real popular. It's been super high demand right now. Let's go ahead and pull that one up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up BAMSEC. Right. As mentioned in the first episode, BAMSEC is my tool. It's a great tool. So let's just go ahead and look up LJPC. Okay, so right here is the prospectus and registration section. I like to view the data as chronological. Categorized, actually. Categorized is going to sum it up, the financials, the registrations, the ownerships. But for today, we're going to focus on this right here, the prospectus and registration. So basically, let me just give you guys a rundown. When a company decides to raise money or dilute the company, they're going to introduce new supply. Majority of the time, it'll be overhead supply, meaning that the shares that they have are going to be priced higher than the current price. So that therefore the supply is going to be overhead price-wise. So a lot of times we'll see these underwriters get rid of these shares and they'll time it with catalyst. Catalyst being earnings or news, predominantly a news release or a PR, but it can be anything really that sparks the demand. And another thing too that which is possible majority of the time is the players, the institutions who are holding the shares are the ones pushing this up in pre-market. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Like I said, this is beginners week 1 or level 1. So let's just go ahead and look. The first thing I do once I pull up a stock is I want to look and see when their last shelf registration is. So this company is using an S-3. Okay, now this is a little bit older. The S-3 has a 3-year shelf life. So this registration from 10/15/18 is valid until 10/15/2021. So we're active on it. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Okay, so I'm looking on this and we're looking at $150 million on this S-3. Now let's go ahead and look. One second. Let's go ahead and pull up the market cap on this company. LJPC, I want to see how much supply they have in relation to the company itself. So here's a 3-year chart. As you can tell, the stock is very heavy. It's in a downtrend. It's a biotech company with 27 million shares, and it has a current market cap of $348 million. Okay, so that lets me know this is a big offering. This is roughly 40%, give or take, of the company itself. So right away, that lets me know what type of company this is. Okay, and then also this chart right here. I mean, look at this move. We have a move from the high 20s and the 30s, and this thing is trading down. Last week it was trading at $6. Okay. I mean, look, this is a 3-year chart. Let's pull up a 1-year chart. Okay. So this is basically the higher time frame chart, the yearly chart, the 1 day. I like to use the 3-year, especially for the volume profile, which is shown here, which will be in a technical course, but. Basically, we can see that this thing is not even channeling. It's just consolidating, dumping, consolidating, dumping, trapping, dumping. Okay, so this stock, the point of control, right? The majority of shares traded on this stock in its 3-year history is $6.03. So now you can get an idea that this is a $6 stock. Basically, volume is the integrity of the chart, in my opinion. So when I look at high areas of volume, that lets me know that that is a fair value of that stock. When stocks tend to move really fast, like we see this push right here from $5.50 to $14, okay, this stock moved at an accelerated pace, meaning that these areas right here are unfair value at this current time. But we'll get into that. Like I said, that's technical. We'll get into that another time. So back over to BAMSEC. So we know that this is a huge offering. So they are putting up basically 40% of the entire market cap. They are putting it up saying that, hey, we want to get this off. We want this type of money. And we're just letting the investors know because the SEC is forcing us to make this information public to us. So what I do from this point is I'm going to go to an external link. I'm going to go check out Edgar. SEC has a filing department called Edgar. And I want to see right here, file number. I want to know what's attached to this filing. Okay, as we can see on 10/25, okay, 10 days, we're looking at the S-3 filing came out on 10/15. 10 days later, they went effective on the filing. So when the effective comes out, it means that the filing is active. It's effectively active to take place. Now, the S-3 or the S-1, after the effect, most of the time, I don't know if it's 90% or 80%, but the majority of the time, the effect follows the S-1, S-3, and then we will see a 424. Okay, so S-3, effect, 424. Now, there's no 424 attached to this filing. So that lets us know that before they can raise, they're going to have to drop a 424 or they're going to have to drop it in the news feed. So we're going to be looking for that. The stock is up high. Right now it had a huge push. Let's just go back to the daily chart. So we had 25 million shares on 6/6. On 6/7, which was Friday, we had 20 million shares. So this thing is getting pushed up. Now, in my opinion, it's very possible that this is higher because they're getting ready to drop a 424. We'll see. This example does not have a 424, so we're going to go ahead and switch examples. But this is the process that I use. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the room, and let's find another stock that's been running out here from the runner's room. IFRX ran. See something that ran. SENS ran off of an after hours push. It's already down. I want to see something that is still up. VTVT. Let's take a look at VTVT. I remember this this old friend. So let's go ahead. We're going to go back to BAMSEC. And I'm going to type in VTVT. Now this is the same process. It's repetitious, but you're going to get familiar with it if you want to understand how the direct offering process works. Okay, so VTVT, market cap 72.4 million, closed on Friday at $1.40. Right here at the prospectus and registrations, this is what we're looking at. I'm looking at they just had a recent 424 B5. Okay, so let's go ahead and open that up. Remember, here's the S3. It's a possibility that this 424 is attached to this S3. Not 100% sure. Like I said, they have a 3-year shelf life, but there is a 424 and an S3. The S3 came out 2/27/18. Here's the effect right here, 3/19/18. Okay, so 2/27/18. 3 weeks later comes the effect. Now we're right here at the 424. So I have high probability chances that this 424 is going to have shares that are available, or they possibly already did dilute. But let's look. So I pulled up the 424. So the first thing I want to look at is how many shares they're offering. So this 424, there can be multiple 424s that are attached to one shelf offering, right? The S-1 or the S-3. You can even see an S-8, but that's more for employee shares. So I'm not interested in an S-8. But this particular 424 off the S-3, 3.6 million shares. Okay, now down here, we see the offering price. The offering price is $1.65. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make a note of that. 3.6 million shares, Class A, common shares, at price $165. Now the underwriters got a hold of this for $154. Now it's up to them to sell it to make a profit, but that's a different story. So we're just going to keep track of $165. Okay. Now this right here, HC Wainwright. Now, when you get familiar with the dilution process, you're going to understand some of these players have selective styles on how they do things. Some are more, I don't know if I would say empathy or empathetic to the market, but that's let's just say, just remember that this was H.C. Wainwright, and I do like to keep track of the players and try to keep track of how the offering works in relation to the sell-off, basically. So I wrote down 3.6 million shares at 165. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is I'm going to search to make sure that's the only exercisable price. So I'm going to do a Control F, and I'm going to search for exercise price. Okay, and I'm not seeing anything. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. That's one thing that I like to search. I'm going to check warrants. Okay, there's 4, so I'm just going to go ahead and run through this 424. Okay, so there are 1.1 million Class A shares outstanding between $1.53 and $5.04. I'm going to make a note of that. So I got my little journal. I'm going to go ahead and actually start that. So I'm writing this down. Remember at the beginning we had 3 million at 165. Those were Class A. Here another Class A, 1 million at 153. Okay, now we have 190,000 between these prices. Majority, more than likely, those were just left over from a previous offering, or I don't know, but 200,000 shares does not really interest me. A million or more, 500,000 or more, depends on the float. Actually, let's go ahead and check that on VTVT. See what they're doing on a yearly. Okay, so they have 51 million outstanding shares. They're worth 72 million. So I don't have direct access to the float right now. I don't have that in my notes, but you can compare the amount of shares that are available in the 424 comparatively to the float to know how much of a reaction you can or cannot expect. Okay, so let's go back to BAMSEC. Let's see if we see any other issue or any other footnotes on warrants. Again, we just see the 1 million at 153. And that's all I see. Okay, so that one was fairly simple. Looks like they already did dump these warrants. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. Let's pull up the daily chart over here. Let's do a 5-day chart. I'm not sure how long ago it ran. Okay. So this is when it ran. It was pushed up on 6/6. Remember, we had warrants at 160. So these guys did a good job. They pushed up above 2. They didn't get any access to the warrants that were at 592 and 639, only 200,000 shares. But remember, there was 1 million in between 153 and 504. So showing that this amount of volume right here, these candles, it took, okay, this is not that high of a volume day. This volume are only 250,000 5-minute candles. So it's possible that only a very select few amount of shares got off on this. That's a possibility. But let's go ahead and try to find another stock that's running. I don't have any active 424s right now in my notes, so I'm just looking. The process is the same though. Let's look at GNCA. That had day 1 and day 2, so that's very possible. Let's look at day 1 GNCA right here. So let's take a look at the front side volume profile. Okay, so it looks like it pushed right here through the unfair value, pushed up, and then it just kind of looks like it was held up. They wanted a high close, they wanted a strong close. I don't know for sure, but I'm seeing these volume candles on the bottom. To me, when I see a buy volume candle like that, the first thing that sparks my interest is that this is a possibility that this is agenda volume, right? Out of nowhere, we're getting this huge spike, right? It looks like they're raising it back up, and then it's a push in the after hours. So let's take a look and see if they have any active warrants. Let's go ahead and pull them up, right? So let's go ahead and pull up the daily chart. Just do the same process over and over, right, guys? So let's go GNCA. Okay, here's the push. Let's go ahead and take a look at the yearly chart. I'm going to pull the 1-year chart right here. Okay, so it's channeling down, right? It's the same process over and over. So this candle tells me that they closed strong, right? They closed at 671. That was on 6/3, and the volume on that was 18 million. So when they had a possibility of getting rid of these shares, it was right here on this day. So let's go ahead and pull up the filings on it. So GNCA. Okay, so they're working off of an S-3 prior, and now they're coming up into an S-1. Now their current market cap is 75 million. Okay, the IB5 or IB6 restriction states that a company that is working off an MVPHS, a market value of publicly held shares that is sub 75 million, has restrictions on how much they can dilute. That will be for the intermediate series. Like I said, I just want to get this basic process out, and it's hard for me not to get ahead of myself on this information. But let's go ahead and pull up the most recent shelf offering is an S-1 initial registration for new securities on 6/7. Right, so let me just show you guys real quick too, though, because I'm comparing the dates on the daily chart. So it looks like if they had any shares, they got rid of them on 6/3. Now they have a brand new shelf offering on 6/7, which is relatively new. This is Friday, so this is a fresh S-3, super fresh, right? Let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's see how big they're going to go for. Now that they have a 75 and higher market cap, they're not restricted to a S-3. They're on an S-1 right now. Let's see how big they want to go. They don't even have the amount filled in. Let me look. Emerging growth company. Okay, so there's no total amount. They're just getting the filing out. Okay, I'm looking through here. Stock options, that's not something I'm really interested in right now. So this is just operating expenses. Let me do a control F. Let's see what they have, if they have anything left. Okay, right here we're showing 5.1 million shares standing as of March 31st, 2019. Okay, so these are still outstanding. So these are still active. I'm gonna write that down in my notes. 5.1 at 777. And this filing came out on 6/7, which was Friday. So these warrants are still active. It's possible that they could have been close to expiration and they're reissuing them. That's very speculative. I'm not exactly sure, but 5.1 million at 777. That's going in my notes. These right here, they're kind of small. 270, 204, 208,000. It doesn't really interest me. So I pulled what I think I want to pull out of this. Now I'm going to go over to Edgar and see if they even have an effect on it, which I doubt. It's possible. So let's go to Edgar, SEC. We're going to go to the file number. And they do not. Like I said, this just came out on Friday, so it's not effective, and it's not ready to hit the market. It doesn't have the details that will pertain in the 424 to hit the market. But we did find those warrants. I wrote that down, right? We have those warrants at $7.77. Let's do another one. It's the same repetition. Every company is going to have a little bit of a different feel to it as how they get rid of their shares with the amount of at the market offerings. They could have an underwriter involved. They have broker dealers. They have several different ways how they can choose to dilute. Some of the shares can be vested, unvested. But like I said, for this series, just to get this out to the newer guys in the room, and actually we have some ladies in the room, which is fantastic. We love the diversity, and we like to see everybody partake in trading. Trading is one of the best professions, in my opinion. I have tons of passion for this game, and it's just exciting to be around like-minded people who want to succeed in life and have that entrepreneurial spirit. So let's go ahead and go back to the room. Let's see if we want to do another one. How long is this video so far? Okay, it's already past 20 minutes. It's kind of deep, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it there. Hopefully you guys got some nuggets out of this. We do have a fundamental room right here where we do put some of this information in. The shares, the float. We want to know specific information in the mornings. Here's a note that I made. Fundamental analysis tells us basically how hard we're going to go into the stock, or how much conviction we have of an excessive amount of supply in relation to demand, right? Demand is when you want to purchase a stock, you have demand interest in pushing it higher, and then the overhead supply is going to offset that demand, right? That overhead supply needs that demand to sell into, but the way the stock moves and how it flows in and out of these price ranges with all these excessive shares comes down to technical analysis, and that's exactly what I'm particularly using to pinpoint entries and exits. Technical analysis is also what we use. You can get a lot of ideas and strategies out of how I particularly trade out of the technical analysis videos that we just started putting out last week. So we're excited for that series as well. We also have a psychology room, scanners. We put everything that has been scanning, and trade charts. So these are some recent trades that we go over. We post them in the room. Like I said, everyone has a growth mindset in the room. We're just looking to see, how we're doing. Let's see if I can find a decent trade. CTRV, that was a good trade. I did trade VT that day. I got in pre-market, I got out, came back in again. Just one trade. RWLK, traded that. Here's TCTRM. This was a great trade as well. So like I said, we post these charts in the room. We're excited to have new people in the room, like-minded traders, open enrollment. There's not a fee. We're just looking for talented, passionate traders so we can bounce ideas off and ultimately just grow as traders and grow as a community. All right, guys, so this is the Wolf signing off. Thank you guys for hanging out for 25 minutes. Sorry about the long video, but we're super excited to have you with us, and go ahead and give us a join in the room. We're excited to have a bigger community so we can all get better together. All right, thanks, guys.